Hi! You are either watching this video in class or at home, McDonald's, your dorm, because you were out of class either on a field trip or for some other reason. So I decided we were all going to be on the same page and kind of watch the same video and just see how it goes. So you either, if you're in class, you have a paper in front of you, or if you are at home, you have the PDF version that was on Edmodo. You could either print that, which is what I recommend, or if you want to just use it electronically, you could do that as well. If you are in class or even if you're at home, what I would do is as we go through this video, take notes on this paper, because next week is our unit test, and so you are going to need to be responsible and know how to do this without any help. And by this point, you should be able to. Doing auto sums and simple formulas should not be an issue. You should know how to do them. And so today, really treat this, because this is a tougher Excel sheet that you're doing. Kind of treat this as testing yourself. What do you need to work on before the test next week? So this is what we're looking at. You are going to recreate this. You're going to retype it in there. You will notice that there are borders around some of this. The borders are really to make it easier for you. I will not grade on that. However, on the test next week, you will need to know how to do borders, so it might be good practice for you to go ahead and do that. So we're going to look at McDonald's, Applebee's, and Zippy's. We're going to look at 3 of their popular menu items, and then their nutritional facts, and then we're going to tie that back into what the USDA says that a typical adult should consume a day. All right, so let's look at McDonald's, and I've actually already filled in part of it here. You're going to notice, so let me go ahead and I'm going to delete this out just so we can kind of be on the same page. Okay, should have done this before, but that's okay. So if we were to go to McDonald's and eat a Big Mac, a large fry, and a 20-piece McNuggets, here are our calories. Well, if that was my meal, all you're going to do is you're going to auto sum. You would consume 1,990 calories, and you are going to auto sum all the fat, the cholesterol, the sodium, and the carbohydrates. All right, and so you're going to do that for McDonald's, Applebee's, and Zippy's. Okay? Now I want to know is I want to turn these numbers and know, okay, what percent of my daily allowance am I consuming in this one particular item? And at the bottom of your paper, you'll notice that I actually gave you the formula for this. So in E3, I'm going to do equals, click on the calories in that Big Mac, divide it by. You can either click on this number down here in the yellow box, or what I recommend, just type the 2,000 and then hit enter. And so your Big Mac is 28% of the calories that you should eat in a day. Now remember, when you do this number, it's going to come up general, so it's going to come up a decimal. Remember, you got to change it back to a percent. Okay? You're going to scroll it down, and there you go. That's all it is. And so you're going to do that for McDonald's, Applebee's, and Zippy's. I'm going to tell you there's not a good way to drag this down, so I simply I can't do that, and that's what's going to come up. It's because they have to be identically sized, and they're not, because the McDonald's, Applebee's, and Zippy's, those are merged, so it's actually B1 through L1 is merged to create that McDonald's. B9 to L9 for Applebee's, and for Zippy's it's B17 to L17. Okay? So it is kind of a little tedious, but you'll get through it, I promise. Alright, so down here in the bottom, you in rows 24 through 27 is a smaller table, and you're summarizing up here into the smaller table. So I want to know, if this was my meal at McDonald's, what is the total number of calories? Real simple. On your keyboard, you're going to do equals, and I'm going to click D6. the total number of calories. That's it. And then enter. Real simple, real simple. Once again, cannot drag. It won't work. No matter how many times you try, I promise you it won't work. So you'll do the same thing for fat. Click on F6. Cholesterol equals, that's going to be H6. Sodium, it's going to be J6. And then carbohydrates is L6. You're going to notice for carbohydrates, I don't make you do a percentage. Just kind of giving you a break. So if you want to, I guess you can go ahead and do it, but you don't really need to. So on the second page of the PDF file, or on the back of your paper here in class, you are going to make 3 different charts to go along. The reason why they're on a second page is just because of the way that it printed out. They don't really need to be on a separate page, so no need to worry about it. I just have it like that for printing's sake. So if you look on there, you are only graphing the food item and the calories, and that is it. So we are not worried about what's in column B and C, and so it's a little bit different of a chart. So I want you'll highlight A2 through A5, and don't forget you need to be writing notes down. All right, so A2 to A5, and then on your keyboard, Command. And then when you hold down the command, you can drag down and hold down D2 to D5. And so you're going to notice that I've highlighted now A and D, and I've gotten rid of all this other stuff. And then just like how we've done it in the past, you'll go to Charts, Column, Clustered Column, bam. And I'll just move it over there. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and do Applebee's. And you'll see why in a second, because we are going to make some changes to these that we have not made so far. Okay, so I have McDonald's and I have Applebee's, and you're going to notice because we highlighted the words, that's what comes up on your charts. And so a lot of times last week when we were doing charts, people were having problems, and that's why. Okay, so on your charts, you're actually going to color code them back to these colors that are here. So I'm going to work now with the Applebee's ones because the McDonald's one is blue already by default. And I really am concerned about Applebee's and changing it. Okay. So this here, these lines, this is really our data. And so on one of these datas, I want you to double click and you're going to get a Format Data Series box. And over here on the left-hand side, you're going to have fill and line. That is how you're going to change the colors of those data. In this case, you're going to change it to green. And you'll see the changes automatically. And then you can change the line as well. Okay. You also could do no line, which is what it does by default. And that's totally fine too. Just a real quick, in here is where you can also do other cool things. So let's say we were talking about dogs. I could go in here and put a dog, and you'll notice these actually turn into cute little dogs. So don't ever settle that your stuff has to look like everybody else's, okay? And then I'm done. I click OK. Well, I'm done for that. Now, if you also notice on your charts, you have a dotted outline around it. So now I got my format chart area box up, and how I got that is I just double clicked in the white space over here. I'll show you again. Double click. There we go. So now this fill in line is actually for the box, and so I'm just going to show you what it looks like so you can see what I'm working with. You're going to go to line. You're going to go to weight and arrows, and then click on dash, and I don't care which one you choose. And change it to a 4-point font. You just type number 4, and then go back to solid and change the color once again to match, and then click OK, and voila, there is your chart in green with a green dotted line. And that's all you're doing. So you're going to do the same thing for all of them. So I'll go ahead and in 2 seconds do the McDonald's one. You're not really having to change too much with that one. So there we go. And then, of course, you'll do zippies, and zippies will be purple. One last thing we're going to do, you'll see calories here. We want to change that. We want to name this to the restaurants. So click on calories. You'll get your gray selected bar around there. Just type McDonald's. And then same thing here. We're going to do Applebee's. And that's how you change it. Okay? So make sure that you follow the paper that you have, either PDF or in class. Use your notes and try and do this the best you can by yourself, because next week, when next week comes around, there's really not a whole lot of helping I can do, and you should be able to do this. We've been in Excel now for a couple weeks, so have a great day. Have a good weekend. If I don't really get to talk to you before then, Halloween on Friday, please be safe. And don't forget your test is next week. It is Tuesday if you're in periods 1 or 3, and it's on Wednesday if you are in periods 2 and 8. Bye!